Alrighty. Let's see. Okay. Alright, we back. Hmm. Alrighty. We're back, we're back, we're back. Alright. So after that little power outage there, everything should be back up. Yeah, the little snowstorm outside kind of made the thing the signal temporarily go out for a minute. So we should be good. Should be back up again. We'll see if the stream is gonna be cut into two halves because of that or what. But we do have the ads are gonna restart themselves again. So we got about 3 minutes of ads. 3 minutes until ads. So luckily, when it did happen, I wasn't in the middle of reading anything, or I wasn't in the middle of explaining anything, because I was about to explain something, but yeah. So here's the uh uh um but in any case, uh what I was going to explain is Max's powers. Max's new, I wouldn't call them new powers, more like her upgraded powers. So what's happening now is that Max's powers have evolved and upgraded to the point where Max doesn't have to rewind everything around her, including obviously people's memories and everything, because she's rewinding everything. Now she could actually focus in on something and only rewind that specific thing, which is what she was doing with the coffee, to where she rewound just the coffee to make it hot to a point in time when it was hot and not cold. So she was practicing doing that and testing how long, how far back she could rewind specific objects, specific things. Hence the coffee. So with that explanation, we will also take a little bit of a break because with that temporary power loss, connection loss, the ads are going to play again. So we'll take a little break while the ads play again. So boom, 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 boom. So we got, is it about 2 minutes? Ah. What do we got? Like a minute? Okay, so all right. Oh boy, we got a little bit of a ways to go. All right, let's continue. Let's continue. Okay, so Max stretching here says, we'll talk about it later. Oh, it seems like Rachel just went back to sleep. Uh, and Max continues to say, get inside and warm yourselves up. And Max continues, I'm going for a walk. All right. So as Max goes for a walk, we pick up with Tristan sitting down on the side here, and we have Rachel Pixie walking down the sidewalk on her phone, and we read the text messages that Pixie has here, and the text messages read, Steph, well, get rolling and we'll try it out. And Pixie's little username here is Pix Sticks. Get it? Because she's a drummer and she has drumsticks. Says much excite friendo. And then Steph says, catch you in the digital dungeon. So clearly this is like a D&D like chat room thing. So who is this Steph person that Pixie is texting here? Huh. There's only one Steph I know in this universe. It can't be that one. Okay, so Pixie putting her phone away. So Rachel Pixie says to Tristan, morning, Squire. And then Tristan says, hey, hey. So Rachel Pixie says, so were you still, so where did you even sleep? And Tristan responds, I'm a man of mystery. Who can say? And then Rachel Pixie responds, ooh, so mysterious. And then Tristan says, I got a room, tea, and coffee, making facilities and all. And then Rachel Pixie responds, laughing, okay, less mysterious. So Rachel Pixie says, you're a real people watcher, huh? And then Tristan says, normally I'd have said yeah. It's easy to watch when you're not a part of it all. And then Pixie is sitting down next to Tristan. Tristan says, but now. And then Rachel Pixie says, talk to me. Ooh, excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. And then Tristan says, you see alternatives, right? Is there a version of reality where I should be? Where things work out? And then Rachel Pixie says, And then Tristan says, what's wrong? And then Rachel Pixie says, so I hope you never asked that directly. And Rachel Pixie continues, Tristan, when it comes to you, and bear in mind, I'm still learning, but I just don't see you. And Rachel Pixie continues, I mean, I see you, of course, in front of me, but I don't see your traces, your possibilities. Swag says, you know what? It'd be so cool if this was a full-fledged game. I already see the potential. This is very good content. It is. It is. I will save my full thoughts when we get to the end. The end of when we finish the last book, I will save my full complete thoughts of everything. And how I think this story could be handled if it was actually adapted into something else. Okay, so Rachel Pixie putting her hand on Tristan's hand says, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you're you. You're special. And then Rachel Pixie continues, I mean, look at what you can do. Maybe my ability just can't keep tabs on that. Uh, so Tristan, putting his hand on the back of his neck, says, yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense. Uh, keep this little conversation in mind because this conversation is going to come back around in the last book. So this is a little bit of a thread that they're just gonna hang there, and they're gonna come back to it in the final book. Um, Tristan continues. You know, in the other place, I'm traveling with you guys. Me and Chloe, Max's Chloe. Tristan continues. Here, I barely know them enough to say hello. And then Rachel Pixie says, you could say hello now. And then Tristan responds, I don't think it works that way. A meeting has to just happen. You can't force it or recreate it. Swag said, I already knew I was going to enjoy the comics, but at the same time, I'm very surprised how much I'm liking these comics. Remember, I only read one volume, and I believe, as best I can, that I didn't finish reading the volume one. Well, here we go. We've come full circle for you. And we're almost done with it. So I'm glad that the comics so far for you, Swag, has been exceeding your expectations. I'm very glad that it has. Because that was the feeling that I was having when I was reading these for the first time. Is I had the same feeling. I knew I was going to enjoy it. But it amazed me as I kept reading through how much more and more I was enjoying it so much. So, but remember, we still got one last book. Can the story, can it land its ending? That is the biggest question. Because we're still setting up the end here. So so let's continue. Tristan says, and it's not just them. And then Rachel Lawrence here. No, Rachel Zach says, Lawrence, I left my bag in the room. You were going on and on about the bus pickup time. Made me forget my. And then Rachel Dwight says, hey, Pix, get your ass over here. As he's waving Pixie over. And then we obviously see Lawrence running back into the hotel. And Rachel Lawrence says, I'll get it. I'll get it. And then Rachel Zach says, and don't be too long. We don't want to miss the pickup. Ooh, Swag says, light bulb moment. I know exactly what the fuck to do on Chloe's birthday. Absolutely. Uh, Swag said, I'm buying the hardcover. Well, hopefully it'll get to you in time. Wait, here's the question. Which hardcover are you talking about? Are you talking about the hardcover of volume 1? Or are you talking about the hardcover slipcover that comes with the three books in it? Okay. Okay. And then we go to so Rachel Pixie says, I should go. And then Tristan responds, yeah. Well, yeah, you should go before Rachel Dwight over here has an aneurysm with how much he's rushing everybody. Um, so Rachel Pixie getting up says, you know what I think your true gift is, Tristan? And then Tristan says, huh? Uh, oh, Swag says, the hardcover of Volume 1. Oh, okay. Sweet. Hey, I ain't gonna. I completely understand. The hardcover of Volume 1 is amazing. It is really good. So Rachel Pixie says, not the vanishing or even the reality hopping. It's that you get to choose. Oh, that is reassuring. Because remember, Tristan is the only one who can freely jump between both timelines. So Tristan is the only one that actually gets to choose which timeline he wants to be in. So Rachel Pixie does have an excellent point. That is the thing that makes him special, is that he can freely choose which timeline he wants to be in. So that is 100% correct there. So Rachel Pixie goes over to go meet Dwight. Tristan with a nice little smile. And then we cut back to the original timeline. So original Chloe is here sleeping. And then okay, so original Chloe is roommating with OG Pixie. So that makes sense. That makes sense that they would roomies together. So Pixie is up and just sitting on the bed. And then OG Chloe says, I win. Okay, so Swag said, you said it's on Amazon. Yes, I bought the hardcover from Amazon. So so you should be able to find it on Amazon, I believe. So it shouldn't be that hard to find. So mm-mm-mm. So as I was saying, so original Chloe here says I win. So if you remember, um, earlier, Max was waking up and she said I win. Because remember, they were both having Chloe and Max were having a dream together, the little snowball fight dream. And Max said, uh, they were like, how are we gonna know um, who's in whose dream and stuff, right? And Max was like, okay, whoever wakes up pretty much wins, right? So both of them wake up from sleeping and both of them are saying that they win. So the implication of the dream is they were both having the same exact dream. So it's almost like they were interacting with each other within within the dream world, pretty much. Like they both shared the same dream and all that stuff. So it's one of those things that is showing how connected Max and Chloe are, that they're even sharing dreams with each other. And they're fully aware of the dream because each of them wouldn't be saying I win if they both didn't remember the same dream conversation that they were having with each other. So nice little detail there. So OG Chloe waking up, noticing Pixie, says, Pix, you okay? And OG Pixie is like, oh, like finally snapping out of it. So OG Pixie responds, sorry, I didn't want to wake you. You look like you were having a lovely dream. Yeah, she was definitely having a lovely dream. Some of the dream was a little wet, though. And I'm not just saying that because of the snowball fight. So, OG Chloe says, you know what? It really was. Yeah, it was a sweet dream. So, OG Chloe asking Pixie, what about you? And OG Pixie responds, I think channels are opening. And then OG Pixie continues, this sounds so insane out loud, but. And then OG Chloe winking at her, look who you're talking to. Yeah, exactly. It's like if anyone knows how insane any of this talking about this stuff out loud, it would be Chloe. Like, come on. With all the experiences in the original game, shit. So OG Pixie says, well, I think I found Max. Like, pinpointed. Um, it's always been hazy images before, but um, OG Pixie continues. Now it's like a clearer picture. And then OG Chloe says, "Fuck. So you think Tristan spoke with the you there?" And then OG Pixie continues, yeah, I think so. Uh, she is like me after all. And then OG Chloe says, and she is with Max. And then OG Chloe continues, this is happening. It's really happening. As she's throwing herself back on the bed and kicking her legs in excitement here with a big smile. And OG Pixie says, I guess she's also having to lie to her friends, the other me. That is true. Pixie, come on. It's almost like telling people you have powers, telling everyone you have powers is kind of a bad idea. Or revealing that you have powers to a bunch of random people, whether they're your friends or not, can probably be a bad idea. Certain people may want to remember about revealing their powers to too many people. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. So OG Chloe says, I'm sorry, Pixie. I'm sorry, Pix. And then OG Pixie says, no, I'm so happy about all of this, honest. And then OG Pixie continues, just, I hate that I can't talk to the crew about it. And then Chloe switching over and sitting on Pixie's bed beside her. And OG Pixie continues to say, how did you manage it? How did you lie for so long to everyone? And then OG Chloe says, about Max? And then OG Chloe continues, I kinda told myself the lie as well. The story sorta held up. OG Chloe continues, that she'd left the memorial overwhelmed, that she said she'd come back when she was ready. OG Chloe continues, the questions were hard, of course, but the reality was harder. OG Chloe continues to say, as time passed, it got easier to live that lie. Fuck, I almost believed it. That she was a phone call away. It made more sense than the truth. And OG Pixie responds, yeah, I get that. To say I'm a daydreamer isn't such a lie. And then OG Pixie continues to say, my ability is kind of passive. Uh, I'll, I'll, it's not my real power anyway. Uh, before I fumble over my words here. OG Chloe responds, oh, what is your real superpower? Is it the drums? Exactly. OG Pixie says, I'm a really great drummer, and I can write songs. And that is true. So, you are very multifaceted, Pixie. That's literally the point. And then OG Chloe says, I can design stuff and I make killer pancakes. Chloe makes pancakes. And then OG Pixie says, we are amazing. Yes, you are all amazing. And then somebody's yelling outside the door, saying, go sleep in the foyer, your majesty. And then OG Pixie is like, what? And then OG Chloe is like, what the? And then obviously where Chloe is gonna get up and go outside and figure out like who's yelling. And OG Chloe already says, was that Victoria? Yes, it was Victoria. Thank you, Chloe, for confirming that. And then OG Pixie says, out of the whole town, how'd we end up in the same crappy hotel? And then OG Chloe responds, it was the cheapest. That will definitely do it. And then Victoria says, this is a cast, not Hamlet and his fucking backing band. And then OG Zach, carrying his cover and his pillow, says, whatever, the vending machine will be better company. Yeah, sure it will. And then Victoria says, I know you, Zachary Charles. I used to be you. Ooh, that line. Ooh, that line. That line, I swear. And this right here, this line from Victoria is literally spelling it out for anyone that hasn't figured out the Victoria-Zach relationship. She literally just screamed it at you. Zach is literally just Victoria from the original game. So Victoria is experiencing the same things that she was pretty much doing to everyone in the original game. Obviously not experiencing everything, but she's getting a taste of what she put other people through in the original game. So yet again, that's why I said it was very ironic and also a little bit of karma in a sense that Victoria ends up in a relationship with someone that is similar to the way that she used to be. Which also explains why Victoria also like really like understands like Zach more or less, is because she sees a lot of her old self in him. Which is why she says, I used to be you. So Victoria is very self-aware of their relationship and the symbolism involved in it. So Victoria says, Chloe, of course you're staying right here. And then OG Chloe says, you okay? As Chloe is obviously walking up to Victoria, and Pixie is just peeking out on the side of their room door there. Victoria says, sure. And then continues to say, no? And then Victoria continues, it's just a relationship. And then OG Chloe responds, I'm sorry. And then Victoria continues, he honestly has his moments. He's not all bad. And then OG Chloe responds, I'll take your word for it. I do like how Pixie is just leaning by the doorway. Like I like how she's positioned. Like she just looks funny the way she's standing there. I don't know. I just always found how she's standing in this position kind of funny. And then Victoria says, which makes his being a selfish shit all the harder to take. And then OG Pixie asks, should I go check on him? And then Victoria responds, no, leave him to stew a bit. I'm so sorry if we woke you up. And then OG Chloe says, nah, we were awake. And then OG Pixie here, striking a superhero pose, says, we were talking about superpowers. And then Victoria responds, oh, right, I'd love some of those. And then Victoria continues, why do some of us wait for something awful to happen to realize we need to be better? Ain't that the truth, Victoria? Ain't that the truth? You definitely lived that experience a couple of times, didn't you? From everything that happened with Kate to you ending up in the dark room and everything. Like, and the fallout of the storm. Because, what was it? Victoria lost, she lost her parents in the storm. Because I believe her parents were killed in the storm. Because I believe that's what we read. I think we read that in Victoria's letter in Life is Strange 2, I believe. So yeah. So girl definitely went through a lot. Definitely a big humbling experience for her. All of that. And then Victoria continues to say in the little text box here, I envy those who had it all figured out early. Definitely referencing Max here, because Max is in the shot. Okay, so Random Lady says, why don't you go in, child? And then Max says, from a distance is fine. I don't really feel I've got the right to be up close. And then the Random Lady says, have you lost people? And then Max responds, yes, but not here. Not in this. And then the Random Lady continues to say, we all have a right to mourn. Monuments like this one are a catalyst. The permission we need to channel that loss. Remember their faces. And then Max says, I think my mourning is too selfish for this place. And then the lady says, shall I tell you a secret? And then the Random Lady continues, I grieve for all the lives destroyed back then. and for how we have failed since. My heart breaks for the souls, businesses, homes, and the rights lost around me. For those still not healed today. And the lady continues, but I miss my daughter and her family the most. That is my selfish hurt. And then the lady continues, don't confuse selfishness with an inability to feel the wider grief. The two are not mutually exclusive. Hey, try. Hey, try. Thank you. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid. Thank you for the raid, my friend. Oh wow! Hey, T. Welcome in, T. Welcome in, Cosmic Teapots. Welcome in. Nothing much. We're reaching. How far in are we? We're getting close to. Yeah, we're getting close to the end of the book. We're getting close to the end, so we're almost there. Yes, thank you. Oh, T said, "Oh, is this a comic?" Yes, it is. And thank you, Try, for giving the shout outs. As always, big shout out to Cosmic Teapots. T is always always awesome, always great. She is amazing. Let's continue with the comic read here. So the random lady says, everyone is allowed their own selfish grief, even in the midst of so big a hurt. So okay, we still got. Max says, would you tell me about your daughter? And then we, presumably, obviously, Max sits there and talks to the random lady for a while as we see the nice birds fly over. Also, if you couldn't tell, from what the random lady and Max were saying with the with losing people in the storm, in a storm and all that stuff, remember where they are. They're in New Orleans. So without explicitly saying anything, they are heavily referencing Katrina. So they're blatantly talking about, people that died in Katrina and all that stuff during Hurricane Katrina. So yeah, if that wasn't obvious enough, that is what they're getting at. So it's definitely one of those things that they're saying it without saying the actual like names. But yeah, that's the heavy implication there, which is pretty much the parallel that they're putting up, because like Hurricane Katrina and the the Arcadia Bay hurricane, tornado, all that stuff. So That's the parallel that they're getting there. Oh my lord, try. Try. Thank you so much, Try, for the incredible 75 stream streak. 75. Jesus Christ. Try said, yo, I entered the golden years of my streaking age. Oh, jeez. Thank you so much, Try. Jesus. That is incredible. That is an incredible streak. Yeah, exactly, T. T said, oh my god, 75 streak is amazing. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Because we got another, we just got done with one raid, now we got another raid going. Thank you, Spo, with the raid. Sporix with the raid, yay. Meowdy to you too, Charlie. Charlie coming on in with the raid too. Welcome in, Charlie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Jesus Christ. Everybody's coming in towards the end here. Welcome in, what was it? Raster 64. Raster 64. Welcome, welcome. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. Also, welcome on in. Obviously, thank you, Charlie, with the 3-stream streak there. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But let's try to but yet again, thank you so much, Spo RX with the raid. Thank you so much. All right, let's try to continue on here as we get closer to the end of the book here. So we got the blue butterfly flying across here. Oh, okay. So we got a little timestamp of a few days later. As the blue butterfly flies past Max over here. And then the color of it changes into a brown butterfly. So Max says, something's coming, isn't it? Tell me I'm not imagining it. And then now we got a location text here. So Max is at the Blue Butterfly Rainforest Florida Museum. Okay, so now we're in Florida. We're on the last stop of the road trip. So we are approaching the end of the entire journey. So we're already approaching the end. So we're in the ending location. So now we're gonna be setting up the final pieces to set up the ending. So, oh boy. So Max continues while staring at the blue butterfly that keeps kind of changing colors right now. Power, hope, whatever it is, I feel so full of it. It has to go somewhere. And then the butterfly kind of phasing in and out over here. Max continues, or I may just explode. And then the butterfly is kind of almost like it's splitting into two, like a brown butterfly and then a blue one. Oh, and then now it's kind of flying by OG Chloe here. So now OG Chloe noticing the very weird butterfly that's kind of like leaving after images of itself. Says, that's weird. Butterfly or backstroke sister, make up your. And then Max, OG Chloe notices something and finishes saying mind. And then now we get a nice little full panel spread here. And Max says Chloe. Okay, so obviously they notice each other. And we got a bunch of blue butterflies surrounding her. So clearly some symbolic stuff here. And then as they're both looking at each other, Max says, is this real? And then OG Chloe says, you tell me. And then Max responds, a flicker. And then OG Chloe follows up with, or a dream. Another one. And then as they move closer to each other, Max says, Chloe, I'm scared to move, scared to break this. And then OG Chloe responds, I know, Max, I know, just. And then Max, cutting her off, says, this is just a window. We need a door. And then OG Chloe says, fuck Max, you look. And then as they're both reaching out for towards each other, Max interrupts and says, you too, Chloe, I can't. And then Chloe getting interrupted by the museum, one of the museum workers, says, Miss, are you alright? And then OG Chloe kind of silent with tears running down her cheeks here. And OG Chloe wiping her tears out of her eyes, says, I will be. And then the museum worker lady says, looked as if you were talking to a ghost. Kinda. And then OG Chloe says, I was really talking out loud. And then the museum worker lady says, well, yes. And then somebody shouts Chloe's name. Hey, it's Pixie. So OG Pixie says, Chloe, I saw. And then OG Chloe, cutting her off, says, butterflies. Yep, I know. Obviously not wanting the museum worker lady to be overhearing their conversation. So the museum worker lady says, you found your friend. Good. I'll leave you to it. And then OG Chloe asks, can I ask you something? And then the worker lady says, of course. And then OG Chloe follows up, can butterflies fly backwards? I'm pretty sure no. And then the the museum lady says, I can't say I've ever seen that, and I've worked here a long time. Swag says they finally found it. Just added it to my Amazon wish list. Took a minute because I got slightly confused. It's called the deluxe edition. Yes, yes, yes. I knew you would eventually find it. Because it's but the point is, you found it, and then now you have it bookmarked for yourself, and when you're ready to buy it, it'll be right there. So you don't have to go very far to find it again. So continuing here. So OG Pixie says something huge happened, didn't it? I felt Max so strongly. And then OG Chloe says, yeah. And Chloe is already having like little tears coming into her eyes here. And then now OG Chloe, wiping more tears out of her eyes, says, fucking leaky eyes. I saw her pics, a flicker. And then OG Chloe continues to say, so close right here. Like if Tristan had been here, he could have opened the fucking door. And then OG Pixie thinking here says, he must not have been with her either. I mean, either. When this thing happens, we'll need a coordinated effort. And then as Pixie and Chloe leave, OG Chloe says, and how do we do that? I mean, how? And then she's trailing off. And then Max finishes off what Chloe was saying. Can we be totally sure that we're all going to be in the exact same place at the exact same time? So now everyone is forming, getting their plans together. And then, what is this? Oh, Rachel Pixie says, well, I happen to know a cool band playing a festival tomorrow night. And then Rachel Pixie continues, and I mean, their friends may well be there to listen in both realities. Swag said, oh, where they at? I see a jungly background. Are they Laura Croft now? Um, no, they were in a butterfly rainforest museum. So they were in like a butterfly rainforest museum area. That's where they were. They are in Florida though, so they're in the final location that they need to be. So this is the last stop on the road trip. So everyone is gonna be at this location right now. In both realities. So Max thinking says, crowds of people though. And then Rachel Pixie says, oh, I have a girl on the inside. Oh, Pixie got a plan. And who does Pixie have on the inside that could get him some locations here? Because case in point, people, we're about to get a very big fan servicey moment. But it's a well-deserved fan service moment because it actually serves a point. So there is that. So where is... So as we continue, So, excuse me. Rachel Pixie says she could get any extra passes we need. It'll be quieter backstage, I bet. And then Max says a specific location, a specific time window. Oh, it's okay. It's okay, Swag. You didn't miss anything extremely important, so you're fine. Plus, yet again, if anyone missed anything, that's what the VODs are for. The VODs are for definitely any. If anyone needs to catch up on anything, the VODs are right there. Well, the VODs will be there. So, so Rachel Pixie continues to say, "We just need your Chloe to be in the same place." And then Max says, "I trust her. If we're thinking this, then," and then somebody's phone is going off. Somebody's phone's ringing. Oh, it's both of their phones. Um, so Rachel Pixie says, Tammy says they're opening up the venue. And then Max says, Rachel says they're opening up the venue. Yay. So both of you got the same message from two different people. So, so, uh, oh, okay. I didn't know. Okay, so we'll wait a minute while ads finish up real quick. Ah, no problem. Thank you, Try. Thank you. Got the YouTube. Yep, the YouTube link there. So if anyone missing any past videos and everything is on the YouTube channel. All the old stuff, all of my previous streams and videos, all of that is on the YouTube channel for any of the older videos. So anything that's not on stream, I mean that's not on Twitch, it's all on the YouTube. So anything that has expired off of Twitch, it's all over there. Swag said they just showed DoorDash. Joke's on you. Ad. I'm baking mac and cheese in the oven. Welcome back, Swag. Welcome back. Alright. So, we're going back on. Try said the Guru has the fastest VODs in the West. It seems that way, yeah. Seems that way. Hey, I just count it as lucky. Okay, so we continue. So Max axes Pixie. So who's your girl on the inside? And then Rachel Pixie says, a friend from Seattle. A friend from Seattle. And then Rachel Pixie continues, she came to a few gigs at the Bean Barn. That's the bar where, and then Max interrupts, I know it. My other life, remember? Exactly. Okay, so this person used to go to high C performances at the Bean Barn. which is the same area that Max and Chloe was at the beginning of the first book. So yet again, some references coming full circle here. Try said that their VODs still be processing sometimes. Like last night's VOD still hasn't processed, still hasn't published. Yeah, I know. Sometimes I don't get me wrong, I still run into that issue every now and then where it still takes a minute to like publish every now and then. So I still run into that issue. So don't get me wrong, like it doesn't always go smoothly 100% of the time. Sometimes it does take a minute still. So it's not like it gets uploaded like real quick in the blink of an eye. It does. Some videos do take longer than others sometimes. uh, Charlie said it's because you missed the stupid invisible QTEs. maybe that's it, Charlie. Maybe we need to hit those quick time events quicker. All right. So back to this. So, has anyone figured out who is this mysterious girl that Pixie keeps referring to? If any of you was paying attention to Pixie's texts earlier, then technically this mystery was already spoiled. So if y'all were paying attention, then y'all already know who this mysterious girl is that Pixie is talking about. Rachel Pixie says, so weird. Will never not so weird will never not be weird. That is true. So Rachel Pixie continues. Anyways, she hung out a few times. I gave her some drum lessons, and she signed up to crew the festival. And then Max says, well, she's about to be one of my favorite people. I'm sure she is, Max, because she is a lot of people's favorite people. And then Rachel Pixie says, I think you guys would actually get on if you weren't about to skip realities. Meanwhile, back in the OG timeline, so the stage worker says, we appreciate the help, seriously. And then OG Chloe says, not a problem, dude. I'd be helping the high seas out anyways. And then, as we see them setting up over in the background, and also setting up the Hamlet performance, because we got the Hamlet crew setting up stuff. And then we see what was it? OG Dex says she's a strong one, stronger than this one. And then OG Dwight says, shut up. That is true, Dwight. Chloe may not look it, but Chloe is very is very muscly, apparently. To be carrying around a bunch of heavy equipment. Uh, so the stagehand says, you guys said you were okay with other bands using your kit, right? And then OG Dwight says, no worries, insurance sorted. So the stagehand responds, you already rock in my book. Thanks. As OG Chloe is putting on her pass around her neck. So OG Deck says, so organized. And then OG Dwight says, the true might of Dwight. So your true might, Dwight, is your organization skills? Alrighty. I'll take your word for it. So OG Tammy says, oh sweet, look at you, all official now. And OG Chloe striking a pose says, I'm special. That you are, Chloe, in several ways. And then Chloe and Pixie giving each other the thumbs up. So I'm pretty sure that thumbs up has several meanings. Most likely that they're ready to ready for action here, as far as trying to get Max back to the original timeline. And then OG Chloe says, we got this. Obviously saying that to herself. And then Tristan just poofs in. So Tristan says, what have we got? And then OG Chloe, obviously jump scared here, says, holy sweet fucking hell. And then Tristan smugly says, sorry, not sorry. And then OG Chloe with a smile says, dude, Tristan, what the fuck? Did you just get here? And then Tristan responds, I did. This is infinitely easier now we're all occupying the same geographical space. And OG Chloe responds, and you feel okay? Don't be wasting energy on jumps. And Tristan responds, feel fine, kind of full up on power right now. Max said the same. And then OG Chloe asks, how's Max? She ready? And then Tristan responds, it's like the veil is thinner. And then OG Chloe says, or we're all more in tune with it. That is also a very valid theory. And then both Tristan and OG Chloe says, or Pixie. That is true. Or maybe Pixie is the missing link that y'all needed. And OG Chloe, while touching her watch, says, this is going to happen. I know it. And then OG Chloe asks, hey, you want a crew pass? And Tristan responds, I probably don't need one. Technically, he doesn't, because he could just make himself invisible, poof in and out. So it's like, who the fuck cares? So OG Chloe says, right, the whole invisible and reality hopping thing probably has you covered. And then Tristan says, probably. So Original OG Chloe says, you looking for someone in particular? The band will be happy to see you. And then Tristan blushing says, I can't stay. This was mostly a test, but um and then Tristan continues, I may well see them again soon. And then OG Chloe says, sure, but which ones? Ooh, excuse me. And then Tristan says, I'm not sure yet. And then OG Chloe says, oh, there's Victoria says, oh, hey, crew girl. And then OG Chloe responds, hey, actor girl. Oh, and then we see Lawrence here. Lawrence helping put stuff together for the theater group here. Ooh, excuse me. And obviously Tristan notices Lawrence, because Tristan says, whoa, Lawrence, should you be what, carrying stuff? Uh OG Lawrence says, Tristan, hi, my leg is much better. I'm strong like an ox, don't worry. And then the old guy says, I'm only holding this side for a show. He's fine, trust me. And then OG Lawrence says, will I see you later, Tristan? And then Tristan responds, I hope so. And meanwhile, Chloe over here is thinking. And then obviously Chloe picking up on the signals here, poking Tristan here. OG Chloe says, "Aw," and then Tristan blushing here responds, "What?" Um, and then Victoria saying in the background here, "Don't go pulling a muscle there, Hamlet." Obviously, snapping at OG Zach over there as he's only holding a skull and not actually helping with the actual heavy lifting going on. So, OG Chloe says, I guess the test was a success then. And then Tristan, still blushing, kind of like, and then OG Chloe continues, maybe my Max is waiting for you back in your own world. So, and then obviously Chloe continuing in the text box in the corner there says, get your ass back to her and make this happen. We're counting on you, doorman. So Rachel Chloe says, it is a good thing. It sounds like a good thing. And then Max says, I don't know, I hope so. Everything feels easier. Okay, so let's get this out of the way real quick. So, Tristan is gay. If you haven't figured that out yet, Tristan is gay. And specifically, he obviously has a crush on Lawrence. Specifically, OG Lawrence. Because OG Lawrence is the one that Tristan is actually building a relationship with. Because you could also kind of tell that OG Lawrence is also interested in Tristan too. It's just that obviously neither one of them has actually said anything to the other. But But you can kind of pick up on it with certain things that each other have said to other characters when they're talking about them about each other. So yeah, so let's definitely get that just get that stated right out of the gate, that is where that goes, where that's going. Also, specifically, try, hopefully, you're still here. If you're still here, the comics here. Try said ye. Okay, so Try is still here. The comics here is about to give you a gift, Try. The comics is about to give you a nice little surprise. So pay attention to the next couple of panels because you're about to get a surprise. Not a kiss. You're not getting a kiss. The kiss was earlier. You actually missed Max and Chloe having a kiss earlier. You actually missed that earlier. But you're not getting a kiss. You're getting somebody else. You're getting a specific character. Try said, "Aw, damn." Yeah, you missed the kiss earlier. You're gonna get another one later. You're not gonna get it now, but you're gonna get it later though. In the next book you're gonna get a kiss in the next book. Actually, the next book is gonna give you a couple of kisses, so Try said, "Oh, I'm hyped to see the surprise." It's actually a surprise that's probably gonna start making me cry. Because I'm actually starting to tear up just thinking about it. So here we go. All right, so the next panel. So Max says, it's like I can isolate pockets of time. And then Rachel Chloe says, all of the power, less of the fuckery. Pocket time. Hey, we got the slogan. And then Rachel is laughing. Rachel snorts. That's funny. Rachel snorting is hilarious. Oh, and then Pixie says, oh, there she is. Is this the panel? No, it's not the panel. It's the next panel after this. So, Pixie waving to her friend, which, who is this friend that she's talking about? So Pixie waving to her friend, and Rachel Chloe says, "Whoa, that looks a whole lot like," as Rachel Pixie says, "Yo," while waving. And then Rachel says, "Huh? No way." And then this mysterious girl says, Pixie, so where are these friends of... So, a big drum roll here. Drum roll. So Pixie's friend, Chloe and Rachel, also know. Because they turn to look at her, and both of them recognize her. So clearly, it can only be one person, one girl, that they know. Try said drumming. You can't hear it, but I am. So here we go. Who is it? Steph says, no, 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 no way. This is too crazy. Exactly, Try. Try says, my sweet baby Steph. And there's Steph with the backstage passes. Try says, let's fucking go. So Rachel Chloe says, it's fucking is you. And then Rachel says, Steph Gingrich, as I live and breathe. And then Steph says, this is insane, you guys. Okay, now one, Rachel saying, as I live and breathe. Shit. God damn it, Rachel. God damn it. Shit. God damn it, that line just fucking hits. Every fucking time. Jesus fuck. Okay. Whew. Let's continue because we're about to have another moment right here. So Rachel Pixie says, I guess I don't need to make introductions then. And then Max says, I could use one. So now we have a historic moment about to happen here. Because now we have Max and Steph shaking hands. So Steph says, hi, I'm Steph. And then Max responds, Max. And then Steph says, I totally went to school with these idiots. While she's pointing her thumb at both Rachel and Chloe here. Is this moment utter fan service? Is this utterly fan service? Abso-fucking-lutely it is. But does it make sense? Yes, it does. Because if you remember, if any of you have played Before the Storm or anything, or have seen our playthrough of Before the Storm, Steph was a stage manager for the Tempest play in Before the Storm. So it would make sense that Steph would probably get a gig at being a stage manager. Especially since Steph knows Pixie and the High Seas are working this working at this event. So probably Steph would have been like, hey, maybe I could help y'all out. Which is why Steph has the backstage passes that they all need. So now everyone can say that Steph and Max have met each other. So Steph and Max have met each other. So if anyone says otherwise, you can point them to this panel right here and let them know that it did happen. Steph and Max met each other right here. No ifs, ands, or buts. It happened. And it's official. This isn't no fan fiction. These are officially licensed comics. So Square Enix has signed off on all of this. So this all counts. So Steph says, but these days I'm based in Seattle, where I met this one. And then Rachel Pixie says, these clingy band groupies, can't get rid of them. And then Steph responds, I guess you don't want these all access passes then. And then as Steph has her hand on Pixie's head, and Rachel Pixie says, yes, please, thank you, please, as she's doing the little hands together apology gesture. And then Steph says, you're with the pirate crew too? And then Rachel says, actually, no. You'll laugh, but... And then we cut to Rachel doing practice with the play. With Rachel saying in the background, rich gifts wax poor when givers prove unkind. And then Rachel Zach says, not at my face, geez, which I'm pretty sure is not in the line. And then Steph says, Shakespeare, sure. Least it's not the Tempest, huh? And then Steph says, you're not getting up there this time? And then Rachel Chloe says, fuck to the no. That was a one-time, one and only. And then Steph says to Chloe, I remember you were pretty good at... And then Steph getting a call on her headset says, shit, I gotta go. Busy. And then Steph walking off and waving goodbye to everybody says, so hyped you guys are here. Can't believe you know Pixie. This is bonkers, and we are gonna catch up later. Okay, so that was Steph's little cameo here, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry, Steph will be back for another cameo in the final book. So Steph will come back in the last book. So that's not all Steph, all of Steph that the comic is gonna have here. Okay, so Rachel Lauren says, I got him, Zach. And then Rachel Zach says, I think you cut my cheek. And then Rachel says, oh, for Lawrence, he can pick him up himself. Yeah, I know. Let Zach's lazy ass pick up his shit. Like, Jesus, come on. Ooh, and then now we cut to the original timeline. So we cut to the original timeline with almost the same situation happening. So OG Zach says, can we try that again? I think that'll work. I just gotta react differently. And then Victoria says, sure thing. And then the other actor ladies say, I swear to God, Zach is less of an ass since they split. Oh, okay, so they broke. So Zach and Victoria broke up off screen. Technically off screen. Or as since it's a comic, off panel. And then the other actor lady says, thank you, Victoria. And then OG Chloe, while she was watching the practice, notices that there's rain. That it's starting to rain. So Chloe's like, huh? And Victoria says, oh man. And then the, I guess the director or something, whatever, the guy in the corner over there, says, sorry guys, should just be a shower. It's not on the forecast. And then the guy says, go find coffee, keep your phones on. We'll call when we're ready for you. Well, sure. If it's raining, I highly doubt you're going to be, like, anything's going to happen here. So was this Tammy? Yeah, it was Tammy. So OG's Tammy says, well, this sucks. And then OG Tammy continues to say, our sound check is going to be after midnight at this rate. And then OG Tammy continues, hey, now... Oh, no, that was... Oh, no. Oh, yeah, that is supposed to be Tammy. Okay. I thought that was going to be Dwight for a minute there. So OG Tammy continues, hey, how come you're so chill about this? And then OG Dwight responds, end of the tour. We stayed on schedule. We got here on time. So at this point, Dwight just doesn't give a shit. so OG Dwight continues, whatever may go wrong now is not my problem. Yeah, exactly. No fucks given at this point. So OG Dex says, did you know they have a pirate festival here? Ooh, I know two people that definitely would go to a pirate festival. Well, two special people. Obviously, the High Seas would also go, but specifically Max and Chloe. So OG Chloe says, Pix, everything okay? And then OG Pix says, okay, so Pixie's obviously distracted. So OG Dex says, what's up, Pix? And then OG Pix says, all good, all good. I think I got my, okay, so Pixie is using a period as a excuse to get away from everyone else. And then OG Tammy says, I saw a restroom sign back there. And then OG Chloe getting up says, I'll come with. And then OG Dwight says, what is happening? Bro, you can't read the room? The girl is saying she got her period. She needs to be excused. And then OG Dwight finally understanding, saying, "Oh, right, got it." And then meanwhile, Chloe and Pixie in the bathroom. So OG Chloe says, "What did you see? I know that look, Pix." And then OG Pixie says, "Tuning into the other me, things are so much clearer now." And then OG Chloe says, "That's good though, right?" And then OG Pixie says, "Depends what I see." And then OG Pixie continues, "All this power, how easy it is to tap into. I think I know what's coming. They just got the news first." And then meanwhile, in the Rachel timeline, Max says to Steph, "How bad are we talking though?" And then Steph says, "I just don't know, Max. No one knew it was coming." As we see Rachel and Chloe sitting on the couch over here, holding each other's hands. Obviously, they're worried. And then Max says, "But could tomorrow's show be canceled?" And then Steph responds, "Again, I don't know. I sincerely hope not." And then Steph continues, "But if we're about to get hit in the face by a hurricane, none of us want to be on that stage tonight." And then Max says, "But the show has to happen." And then Steph responds, "Look, this sucks, believe me, I know. But get your van into the underground car park. As I said, stay safe." And then Steph continues, "Hopefully it blows over and comes to nothing. But sound check is off. Let's batten down the hatches and see what we're left with in the morning." And then Rachel Chloe says, "Max, we're gonna go move Gladys." And then Max says under her breath, "It has to happen. We have a plan." And then Tristan, running up to Max, says, "And now we have a new plan." Running to Max with Pixie right behind him. So Tristan says, "We've all felt it, right?" And Rachel Pixie says, "Something huge, powerful." And then Max says, "This can't be happening again." And then Rachel Pixie says, "It's not because of us or because of you. It's happening on a bunch of timelines, guys." And then Max says, "But we're responding to it. That's what I've been feeling." And then Rachel Pixie says, "I guess who really knows? But this could be an opportunity for us. We bunker down and wait out the storm. Or we get reckless." Remember what the fortune teller said. Somebody was going to do something reckless. So that future is definitely coming to pass now. So Tristan says, "Weather fronts are just forming and we felt this much. Imagine how much power we can tap into from the storm itself." And then Rachel Pixie says, "Enough to open a door, Max. You said this all started with a storm. Maybe it's supposed to end with one." And then Max thinking over here. And then Max finally says, when I faced it before, I let it win. Max continues, I thought I only had two choices. I paid for both of them. And then Max continues, but I'm not who I was then. Um, and Max continues, I'm not alone, and I'm not running from myself or from what I want. And then Max ends this by saying, I'm ready to face a storm and win. And that is the end of the main story here. For the book, I mean. So the main story of book 4, that's the end of that. Since they say to be continued, but I'm gonna say the classic line of this action will have consequences. Because I am very disappointed that they didn't keep that trend going. They said it at the end of book 1, and I believe they also said it at the end of book 2. But ever since, they just kept saying to be continued at the end. And it's like, no, it's your actions will have consequences. Like, come on. You should have kept it going. Disappointed! So, in any case, here's a variant cover for from Claudia. This I really like. We have the black and white of Max here. And then looking through the window, you see Max sitting outside the store here. And then through that window, you see another Max standing on the beach of Arcadia Bay here with the lighthouse you can see on the cliff there. So really cool. Really, really, really cool. I love that cover. Can we see? Yes. Well, we could kind of see. There are some Polaroid pictures on the side there. So we have the Chloe and Max Polaroid that Max made with Rachel Chloe when she thought she was going to be able to jump into the original timeline before, but it didn't work that first time. And then we have a picture of the scene where Rachel is putting the starlights on Max's head. And then we have the Polaroid that Max took of Chloe and Rachel at the when they were at the Grand Canyon, I believe. So yeah, when they were at the Grand Canyon. Is there anything in Max's hand? Not really. Yeah, so the other Polaroid is just a photo of the Tombstone sign when they were at Tombstone. I do like that Max is sitting there writing in her journal in the other one. Pretty sweet. But before we wrap up, we do have a short little read, and that is a little issue of a free comic book day thing that they did. So this is a little free comic book day short story, which isn't the biggest thing, but I do like the free comic book cover. I do like this with the tornado in the background. You have Rachel, Chloe, Max, and Steph here. I do like that. Also, Steph's sweater with the D20 on it is pretty cool. Oh, and we also got Alex down here on the bottom. So a nice little Alex cameo there. The reference of why this is here is technically going to be referenced in the last book. Because this free comic book issue had a Alex short story in it, along with the Max and Chloe little short thing. So the Alex one is going to be in the last book. The Alex part of the free comic is going to be in the last book. So this is the little short story here. So it's a conversation between Pixie and Steph. So here we are, Seattle, 2016. Steph says, so first off, Pixie, thanks so much for agreeing to play test this baby. My professor said I should test the story out with a pen and paper system before I try to code it. So behold, a video call, the new pen and paper. Swag says, we love short stories, or more specifically, bonus stories. Yeah, exactly. A short little bonus. So Pixie says, no worries at all, Steph. It all sounded super intriguing. And this way I can fit sessions in around rehearsals. So win-win. And Steph says, well, I hope this lives up to the hype. And then Pixie says, I'm all in. Let's do this. So Steph continues, okay, so it's been a year since the Leviathan laid waste to your small town. Steph says, and on the anniversary of that faithful day, you and your closest ally finally make it back to the ruins, hoping to discover some fresh clue as to the supernatural powers that have been incubating within you ever since. And then Pixie says, oh, okay, so I guess I want to explore the ruins as we on foot. And then Steph says, you arrived in a beaten up old wagon. It's seen better days, but your companion fixed it up herself. Okay, so if you haven't noticed by now, by that read, Steph's campaign that she's narrating to Pixie, it's technically a big metaphor for the events that have been happening up until this point in the comic book so far. Which is why they're showing like Max and Chloe and all that stuff. Because it's visually telling you that this whole like D&D session that she's narrating is pretty much the events of the comics so far. So this little bonus story is kind of like a little recap of what has happened so far. So so now we moved on to another day. Steph says, so after traveling through the dimensional portal, you find yourself on the shore of an unfamiliar village. As you stumble forward toward following your heart song, you see a familiar figure. It's Dremerelza, your ally, safe and sound. And then Pixie says, yes, I waved to her, tears in my eyes. And then Steph continues, there's something slightly off about her. And then Pixie says, I yell out to her by name. Steph continues, she turns to look at you properly. She whispers your name. Finding her voice, she says your name again and croaks out in disbelief. But I thought you died. And then Pixie says, oh, I get it. This must be like some parallel version of her. And then Steph continues, you got that fast. Yep, you quickly gather that the you of this world just up and vanished years ago, allowing you to cross over to her place now. But Dramelza remembers the version of you she once knew. Then obviously Max showing up on the beach. And then Steph continues, despite your best efforts to fit in with your Dramelza's new life, you know in your heart that you don't belong in this world. You miss the version of her that you left on the other side of the portal. That doubt creeps in and threatens to consume you. And then Pixie says, and I can't open the portal again. Steph continues, it seems hopeless until you come across a powerful warlock with the potential to become a strong ally. He seems lost, however, and though you hold the key, and through you hold the key to saving, and though you hold the key to saving him, you do so. You doing so will endanger your whole party. And then Pixie says, "Oh man, I think we have to try, right?" Swag said, "They on the beach, let's go. Absolute cinema." I know, revisiting the events here. And then Steph says, with risk comes gain, and your bravery has gained you the warlock's trust and gratitude. He joins your party and vows to help reunite you with your own uh, Germelza. And then Pixie says, "Oh yeah." And then we get the little situation that they're referring to with Tristan, Chloe, and Rachel helping rescue Max from the drug dealers. And then Steph continues, the warlock offers to open a door back to your world. You can sense his power, but know that your own is still weak. Do you let him try? And then Pixie says, yes, I have to trust that he can do this. I'll say my tearful goodbyes to this Dramelza and her life here. And Steph interrupts, you do so, and Dramelza and her companion wish you the best. But know that they'll miss you. And then Pixie just gulps here. Um, Swag says, "Ooh, I fuck with both Rachel and Chloe's outfits." Yeah, this was their outfits in book 2 when they went to the party, to Rachel's friend's party. This was the outfits that they were wearing. Even Max, this was the outfit Max was wearing to the party also. And obviously Chloe and Rachel holding hands there. Swag said Claudia breaking pencil lead with these outfits. Yeah, she the outfits in this comic run for everybody has been very good. Steph continues, but alas, the spell wasn't ready after all. The warlock is sucked through into another world, and you find yourself trapped all over again. Pixie says, no. And then Steph continues, with this, you learn an important lesson that no one else can open the door for you. And then, Pixie says, nice. So, crap, did I lose? Is it over? And then we get a full panel spread with the whole, with the fucked up trans sect that Max and Tristan were in. Swag said to tell her to ease up on the pencil abuse. uh, yeah, I'll hit up Claudia on Instagram and tell her. I'll hit her up on Instagram and tell her, like, ease up on the pencil lead. You're too good at your artwork. Your art is too good. And Steph continues, not just yet. There may be another chance. A traveling bard said to be able to read the very fates arrives in your village. Pixie says, sounds promising. I need to investigate this bard. Steph continues, you share your story with the bard, who in turn seems to know of your plight. Steph continues, maybe, just maybe, this bard is powerful enough to bring you and the warlock back together to complete the spell at last and send you home. But there will be hurdles to overcome if you are willing. And then Pixie says, "Aw, yes." And then we get a nice full spread. I do like full panel spread, full page spread here. I do like Tristan, like Tristan's little like ghostly like image in the clouds here in the sky. And then we have Chloe and Rachel sitting on top of the camper van on top of Gladys here. And then Max and Pixie talking. So a nice little scene here. Ooh, and then we switch perspectives. So now we're with Pixie's side here. So Steph says, so how's it feeling so far, Pixie? And then Pixie says, so cool. I swear, it's like you reached into my brain and found all the right buttons to push. And then Steph says, you don't think it's a bit too, I don't know, cosmic? And then Pixie says, no, I'm buying it. The relationships and characters still feel grounded. I'm totally invested. And if I was my character, I'd definitely be ready to take on the world to get back to my Jermelza. And then Steph says, well, with that in mind, clearly Emma, when she was writing that part, clearly was breaking the fourth wall there with asking like how is it so far? Is it good? How is it a bit too much? Is it a bit too cosmic? Is it getting too supernatural? And then the response of like, no, it's like the characters are still grounded, this, that, and the third. Clearly, Emma is breaking the fourth wall there. Because clearly that's her speaking. Like, clearly speaking through the characters of Steph and Pixie there. With kind of questioning, like, how the story has been going so far. Do people like it and things like that? So, clearly some breaking the fourth wall on that one. So Steph continues. In the last session, you and your allies had tracked down the ancient Leviathan, knowing that to face it and win could be the key to unlocking the power that you need to open your own door and return home. This may be your only chance. Are you prepared? Or do you need more time? And then Pixie says, I gather my party and head to the shoreline, ready to face the storm. Uh, and then Steph says, Leviathan. And then Pixie responds, right, I mean the Leviathan. And then obviously we have the little text box in the corner with the little advertisement of discover the true adventures of Max and Chloe in the ongoing comic series. And then we get this very beautiful, beautiful full page spread. I would love this as a poster. I would love this as a poster. Take away the text boxes, take away all the text boxes, and just have this. Just have this as a poster. I love this. This is literally the Avengers shot. Because you have Max here in her determined pose. You got Pixie over here. You got Steph here. You got Chloe also in her determined pose. You got Rachel with her side standing to the side there. And then Tristan over here also ready to fight. And then you have the fucking tornado in front of them as they're all like looking at it, prepared to face it. God, I wish this was I wish I had this as a poster, man. This is such a cool shot. Such an amazing shot. I love this. And then we get down to some of the other alternate covers. So obviously this was the Pride cover. So we have the Pride Month cover, and obviously we have all the Pride characters. Because we have Dex here. Because remember I told you earlier that in the earlier books that Dex is a trans man. So Dex is a trans man, so that is why he's there. And then obviously we have Lawrence and Tristan, because remember I told you that they're gay, so and they have feelings for each other, but they have not told each other, so they're not in a relationship yet. And then obviously we have Steph here. And then we have Max. And then obviously Rachel and Chloe here. So So very nice Pride cover. I do like that one. And then we have some other variant covers here. Wait, who did the Pride cover? Hold on, I can't. That was I Ilanda Rafadino and Elisa Ramboli. Okay, I'm pretty sure I butchered those names, but they both did a great job on that. Excuse me, on the Pride cover. And then we have some alternate covers by Gretel Lusky. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yet again, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering all these names. At the very least, I tried. So we have the Max one here. We have the Chloe one, the Rachel one, and the Tristan one. I do like these. Plus, I do like that the items around them like represent the characters. Because obviously we have Max's journal, we got the blue butterfly, we got the Max's iPad, no iPod, and then we have the Polaroid pictures, the Polaroid camera, and her bag. And then we got Chloe with the face, with the spray paint, and then the obvious pens, some paint, some headphones, a Firewalk concert ticket, a skull, and her own diary or some book. And then we got Rachel with the bird, some lipstick, makeup, some sunflowers, Hamlet, the Hamlet play, Rachel's bracelet, and Rachel's dragon tattoo that she has on her leg. And Tristan over here, we got, what is this, a High Seas ticket, a cassette, some sneakers, a book bag, binoculars, and another set of headphones. So yay. Do like these. I do like the design of them, especially with Chloe like smirking over here, like she's smiling, Max is smiling, Rachel's smiling, Tristan is just serious, and then Chloe just looks kind of like smirky, like smug, which is pretty funny. Uh, and then now we have the preview of the final book. That says a new storm approaches, and the final book is titled Settling Dust. So the dust, so for the final book, obviously the reference being the dust is going to settle. Because obviously at the end of the story, the dust settles, so that's how that goes. So, sweet. And then obviously the bios for Emma, Claudia, and Andrea, as always. And then the back of the book. And then our little preview here of the final book. So the final four issues. We're gonna be at the end next time. So the end will be the final book and wrapping up this story. So I hope So I hope you all have been enjoying the story so far. Cause next time it's all coming to an end. So let me switch to full screen. So there we go. So I hope hope everyone's been enjoying. Everyone have fun. Swag said, "Of fucking course we are. Absolute cinema." I know. I don't know if all of y'all are ready. I don't know if all of y'all are ready to see this end. To see all of this come to an end. Because it's always, every time I read these and get to the final book, I always get the same feeling of like, I don't want it to be over. I want it to keep going. Like it's been so good that I don't want to see it end. But when I look at it this way, though, we got 6 books. And like I said, if you think about it, each book is technically like, think of it as an episode of the game, right? So if we really think about it, we technically got more than we did from the game. Because we got like 6 episodes. We got 6 episodes technically instead of 5. So we technically got like an extra episode out of this. So when I think of it that way, it's kind of a little comforting. Because it's like we definitely got more than we probably would have realistically thought we were gonna get. So even though I don't want to see it end, that is what's gonna happen. Swag said, truly, honestly, and genuinely, we don't want it to end. Emma and Claudia, please return to the kitchen so you can cook some more adventures. Believe me, I would love for them to do it. But hey, you never know. Never say never. But Charlie said, "Swags, you just love to be punished." Hey, Charlie, that's the life. That's technically the life of a Life is Strange fan at this point. we're pretty much a glutton for punishment. That's pretty much what it's like at this point. Cause even even the happiest Life is Strange like stories and moments and stuff still have their pretty bittersweet moments. Swag says, hey, that is absolutely true. I mean, uh, I learned that saying, never say never. Exactly. Exactly. That is true. Never say never. So, cause realistically speaking, realistically speaking, these were probably like the farthest thing that any Life is Strange fan thought that we would ever get from this franchise. Like I don't think a comic run, a comic book sequel run was going to be on the bingo card for anyone, to be honest. Like I don't think anyone would have thought these comics were going to be a thing. And even if they were going to be a thing, like I said, it was supposed to be a 4-issue miniseries and that's it. So nobody expected for these comics to run for as long as they did. Like Emma and Claudia certainly was not expecting this to go as long as it did. So yeah. Where is Oh, okay. No, we still got some time. All right, so let's do the wrap up here, shall we? Cause Swag said bust out the hardcover one last time. Hey, we'll we'll save it, Swag, for the last episode. For the last episode, as we're reflecting on the comic run and everything for the final episode of the comic books, we'll save it for that. We'll save it for that. We'll bust out like everything for the comics at that point when we're doing the final little wrap up of this comic run. Swag said I'm not ready. Uh Neither am I, but you know the old saying too. All good things must come to an end, right? It's unfortunate, but it's true. But yeah, so in any event, I would like to uh oh, Swag said you're gonna make another announcement next stream. No, next stream. Um, I know Elise asked me about that too. Elise asked me about that earlier. And I told her that I'm going to leave it up to be a surprise. So after the comics are done, the next Life is Strange stream after that, it's gonna be a surprise, a total surprise, for where we're gonna go. From that point. So So it's gonna be it's gonna be a fun surprise. Swag said got it. Yeah, there you go. I gotta leave some mystery. I gotta leave some mystery. Just like I told Elise earlier, just like Chloe said, I gotta keep you on your toes. I gotta keep you all on your toes. Okay. Plus, one of the main reasons I was able to make the announcement for the comic books was because they actually had like an official trailer for the comic books. So it made it very easy that I could do like a little announcement video regarding the comic books. So so it made that part easy. Swag said we need some new Rachel, Chloe, and Max plushies comic book counterpart style. Mm, as far as the design of the plushies go, they're already like kind of cartoony. The only thing that you could really do realistically is if you're gonna make like comic book counterparts for the plushies, um you could pretty much change their clothes. Like just change their outfit. Like give all three of them like outfits that are exclusive to the comic books. Just have them be in those outfits. And then there you go. Realistically speaking. So the only thing that they would really need to change is just the outfits that they're wearing. And then there you go. Ah, but yeah, so I hope everyone Swag said, "Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. They look fine already, but more outfit packs." I know, right? Outfit packs. These outfits obviously don't come off. Like none of these come off. So you're gonna need so you'll need to make entirely new plushies just for the new outfits. Um, but uh, but yeah, I hope you all have liked how some of the other characters have been used. Like like obviously Victoria is like a big one. Like Victoria has been a recurring character for the last for these last three books. So I hope you enjoyed how she was used, how she's been used in the comics so far. Cause this version of Victoria is easily the best version of Victoria that we have gotten at all. Like this version is like amazing. Like she's really good in this version. Um and obviously Swag said, I like her character more in here than the other variations. Cause what makes Victoria so good in this is that she is cause she has developed as a character from all of the experiences from the original game. So she has actually had um positive character growth, character development. So obviously she's going to be like a much better character. You would hope she would be a much better character. And at least as far as this comic goes, it does prove that to be true. So that does make sense. Um, and also the nice little added surprise that that this book gave you at the end, towards the end, which was Steph. So Steph randomly shows up. Well, not utterly randomly. They did set it up like earlier, but yeah, it's oh, excuse me. It is it is it was definitely a fun surprise having Steph show up towards the end. The end of the book 5 here. Um Swag said the timeline where William was alive is a decent Victoria, more likable. Uh had no issues with Victoria in that timeline. That's fair. That's fair. Um she she's not in it much. Cuz aside from that one scene and the couple of text messages that you get from that version of Victoria when you're in that timeline, there isn't much there. Like obviously, plus there's also hints that Victoria is also still a bully, because if you read Max's text messages and stuff in that timeline, that version of Max is kind of a bitch, because she's being mean to like Alyssa and stuff like that. So that version of Max is actually an asshole. So the implication is that version of Max is pretty much that timeline's version of what Victoria is in the original timeline. And the Victoria in that version pretty in that timeline pretty much became to Max what Courtney and Taylor are to Victoria in the original timeline. Because you see that version of Victoria is really trying to suck up to Max, like really trying to kiss Max's ass, which is pretty much what Courtney and Taylor do. So so the implication there is that Max has pretty much replaced Victoria as like the big queen bitch in that timeline. Swag said I didn't appreciate the close up shot of Victoria like, bitch, back your ass up out of my face. Yeah, I know. But yeah. But that's the implication in that timeline. Is that technically Max is an asshole. But but yeah. So that's what I mean by um Swag said, if I'm not mistaken, it was like first person perspective of Max. Yes, exactly. That the scene you're talking about, yeah, it was first person for like a couple of seconds. Yeah. Yeah, it was. You're not mistaken. That's exactly what it was. Cuz it's first person, and then as soon as Victoria gives you like the up close face to face like jump scary moment, at that point then it switches back to a third person perspective from there. So yeah, it does go first person for like a couple of seconds, like maybe like 20-30 seconds or something. So it's a really quick little first person moment. Um but yeah. But yeah, so hopefully you all loved it. You all found it fun. You all uh you all like the Steph's little cameo, especially the nice little fan servicey moment of Steph and Max meeting each other. So this is the first time that we got Max and Steph meeting and talking with each other. So there's that. So that's a nice little historic moment there. Swag said, worst time to implement a first person perspective, and the first thing you see is Victoria. Uh, well, technically, the first thing you see is, uh, what was it? Courtney and Taylor, and who else was there? There were some guys there. I don't know if it was like Logan or something. But you see all of them first. Because the first person camera is looking at them first, and then it pans over to the right side. And then once it reaches the right side, that's when you get like jump scared by Victoria's face. Swag said, why not use a first person perspective with Chloe? I got beef with Don't Know. uh, well, take it up with Don't Nod. Go ask them about it. But but yeah. So so that's all well and good. We got all of them going on. Uh also, this is also the first time that you got this is the first time that you got uh three people three people with powers together and interacting together in a Life is Strange property. So we got three people with powers interacting together. So so that is also a pretty big moment to have three super powered people together. Because we got Max, we got Tristan, and we got Pixie now. So we got three people with powers. Um, uh, Swag said, "Love you, don't nod. You too, Deck Nine." Yes, exactly. All the love to them. Um, but um, what was I gonna say? Oh, I do appreciate though that if you were gonna introduce, if you were gonna introduce another super powered character, because you already have Max, obviously she's the main character, and you have and you introduced a totally new character with Tristan, right? And then thankfully you set him up, you introduced him, you gave him time to shine, and gave the reader and everyone time to get to know him, right? And you did that before introducing a third supernatural character, superpowered character, I mean. Thankfully, though, they didn't come up with a completely new character for that. What they did was they took a character that was already established and you got to know from the very beginning of the comic with Pixie, and then you got to know them a little bit more as the comic kept going, and then you revealed that they had powers this whole time. So you didn't have to waste time introducing a completely new character and then having to do all of the backstory and everything to get the audience to know this new character, and then give that new character time to shine and do all that. We already did that with Tristan, and then we already got to know Pixie before you told us that she had powers. So I love how they handled all of that. Really good. Um, Swag said, I always kind of wondered if Square looked at Telltale games to make a Life is Strange game. Um, uh, Probably. Swag said, what a Telltale Life is Strange season will look like, or what would Telltale do if they decided to do a Life is Strange. I don't know. It would be interesting. It would be interesting, but I don't think Square Enix is in the mindset of hiring multiple studios to work on multiple Life is Strange games at the same time. Like I don't think Square is wanting to do any of that at all. Because they already did it once. Because they had Don't Nod making Life is Strange 2, and they had Deck 9 making Before the Storm. And those things were being made at the same time. So I don't think Square Enix wants to do that again. Because realistically speaking, if they were going to do something like that again, they probably would have done it by now. But the fact that they that they brought Deck 9 back to do True Colors, and then to do every other Life is Strange game from that point forward, kind of pretty much already told everyone that Square Enix is not going to do the multiple studio working on one franchise type of thing. That they're not going to have multiple studios working on multiple Life is Strange games. That they're not going to do that. Because they did it once. It didn't work out entirely great for them. Because they had one game that actually like worked, that was overall like positively received and stuff. And then they got another game that was way more divisive and didn't really work out the way that Square Enix would have hoped that it would. Especially when considering that Life is Strange 2 was the much bigger game and the much more expensive game. And that was the game that was the more divisive and the one that didn't necessarily do the best. So that most likely influenced Square's decision of being like, we're only going to have one studio work on it, work on the games, and that's it. We're not going to piece this out to multiple studios at the same time. We're not going to do that. But yeah. But in any case, let's wrap this up before another round of ads start playing. But in any case, as always, thank you all for watching. As always, I've been JR. This has been Max, Chloe, and Rachel here. And no, thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie, for being here. Thank you. As always, thank all of you. Thank you all. Because Swag said, yeah, I understand that. I think Square tackled the wrong issue. Technically, it wasn't Square that tackled the wrong issue. Technically, that was Don't Nod. Because that was Don't Nod's... The decision of what Life is Strange 2 was about, that was all... that was all Don't Nod. That was all Don't Nod's decision. Square Enix pretty much gave Don't Nod free reign to do whatever they want because of how successful the original game was. Because the original game was so successful, it was like, okay, do whatever you want. You clearly know what you're doing. You made a bunch of money for us. Do what you want. Unfortunately, sometimes when you don't put certain restrictions on people, sometimes they might go a little too far in certain aspects. And then you get some divisive things out of it. And Swag says, thanks to Emma and Claudia. Obviously, always thanks to them. Um, well, Swag said, I meant Square tackled the wrong issue relating to them uh, having multiple studios was the issue in Life is Strange 2. Not that wasn't the issue. The issue was the game itself was the issue. Cause Don't Nod was handling that game completely on their own. So the issue was the game itself. Whether Deck 9 was working on Before the Storm or not doesn't matter. Whether Before the Storm exists or not doesn't matter. We were still gonna get the version of Life is Strange 2 we were gonna get regardless. That wasn't gonna change. Deck 9 making Before the Storm has no impact on Life is Strange 2 at all. Swag said, thank you, Rachel, Chloe, and Max for giving us fond memories. Hey, you're getting your goodbyes out a little too quickly, Swag. Remember, we still got one book left. Save your fond farewells for the final book. You're getting all your thank yous and goodbyes out too quickly. Save them for the last book. Save them for the last book. Swag said, I will. All right, there you go. All right, everybody. So, yet again, thank you all for watching. I've been JR. These have been the Holy Trinity right here. Max, Chloe, and Rachel here. And I will catch you all in the next one for the finale of the Max and Chloe comic book series. So I'll hope to see you all then. Later, everybody.